Hey y'all, what's good, what's poppin'? I'm so excited to get into today's video because today we're gonna be doing a foundation review. I'm always excited to do foundation reviews and just makeup reviews in general. I really love trying out new products. And today I'm coming at y'all with a review on the new Tarte Hydroflex Serum Foundation. I have 3 different shades here. They released 7 shades in a mini size. So I picked up 2 of the shades in the mini size that I thought would fit me. And then I have one here that is a deluxe sample size that I got as part of a promotion. I have the shades 32N, 42S, and 25N. So we're gonna be doing a full in-depth review on these today. We're gonna be doing swatches, first impressions, gonna be showing y'all how this applies, layering it up 2 layers, and I'm also gonna be doing a wear test on this. So if y'all are interested in seeing that video, seeing a full in-depth review on this product, we're gonna really get into it today. Be sure to stick around till the end of the video. But before we get into it though, I do just wanna say thank you to all my new and returning subscribers out there. Thank y'all so much for sticking around, constantly supporting my content and helping me to grow my channel. If you are new here and you haven't already, please be sure to just go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell button as well so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's get into it. Before I get into the video and really break it down, I just want to say if you're here for a specific part, you just want to see the swatches, you just want to see the application, the demo, or you just want to see the final result of the wear test, I don't want y'all wasting your time, so I'm going to go ahead and leave timestamps for everything down in the description below so that you can skip around the video and just get to whatever part you want. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give a little bit of a brief description of the product, give a little bit of a rundown of the claims that they're making, and go over some of the information available on the product website. And then after I do all that, I'll get into the swatches, the demo, and the wear test. So first, I just wanna go ahead and do a little bit of a product breakdown and talk about what this is, what they're claiming, and what expectations we're going into this wear test and review with. So looking here on the Sephora website, looking at the description, it says this foundation provides feather light medium coverage with a natural finish that looks and feels like your skin. The super serum complex visibly brightens, smooths, and hydrates for up to 12 hours, while Hydroflex technology moves with skin so it never cakes or creases. The foundation also easily covers imperfections and minimizes the look of pores, fine lines, and wrinkles. This is waterproof, sweatproof, and fragrance free. I'm looking here on the Tarte website now, so it does have the 12-hour hydration, and then here it also specifically says that it is 16-hour long wear. This has a lot of skin loving ingredients in here. As far as ingredients go, you've got some good hydrating humectant ingredients. So you've got glycerin and hyaluronic acid. These help to draw moisture into the skin and help keep the complexion nice and hydrated. We've got niacinamide, which is a really great versatile ingredient. It performs a bunch of different skin functions. It helps with regulating sebum production. It helps to improve the appearance of enlarged pores. It helps to address the appearance of uneven skin tone and hyperpigmentation, among other things. There's a vegan collagen complex in here, and collagen is a really great ingredient for helping to promote the appearance of plumped and smooth skin. We've got marine plant extracts in here which provide antioxidant benefits, and then this also includes sea daffodil extract, which they claim is anti-inflammatory and has the ability to help promote a more even skin tone. So in addition to the other claims it was making about this having a natural skin finish, being long wearing, blurring on the skin, and all that other good stuff, I'm also really impressed with the other ingredients that Tarte included in here. Also, I just want to talk about this shade range for a second. It is pretty impressive, especially for a skin tint. They are claiming that this is a lightweight medium coverage foundation. Being that it is a skin tint, of course I wouldn't expect it to come in such a wide variety of shades because each shade is meant to accommodate a couple different skin tones. That being said, they did release this in 32 shades, so this comes in an even better shade range than the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop. That one came in 25 shades and this one comes in 32, but I'm actually not mad at the shade range they dropped. I think it's really good and it's really inclusive, and I think that there's a shade in here that'll work for pretty much everyone. So that's all I really have to say about the product description. They really didn't say much else about it on the website, and I do have some opinions so far on some of the claims they made, but I'm gonna get more into it as I get into the demo. I don't want to go ahead and ruin that for y'all here. Before I do get into the demo though, I do just want to go ahead and do some swatches real quick on my arm just so that y'all can see the 3 shades that I picked up, because I know some of y'all do like to use me as a reference for a shade match when you're picking up products. So I did swatch these pretty heavy on my arm. I'm gonna go ahead and insert the swatch video here. So looking at the swatches on my arm, going from right to left, all the way on the right, we have the lightest shade that I picked up, which is 25N, light medium neutral. Here in the middle, we have 32N, which is medium neutral. And then all the way on the left, the darkest shade that I picked up is 42S Tan Sand. So as you can see from the swatches, it is pretty watery and it didn't really truly set on my skin, but I did let it sit sit on my skin for a hot minute before I film that swatch video, just to give it a chance to oxidize, just so that y'all have an idea of what the true tone of these foundations are. That's it for the product description and the swatches and all that. With all that out the way, I'm ready now to get into the actual demo of the product, so I'll see y'all in a second to go over my off-camera skincare routine, and then we'll actually get into applying the product. Alright y'all, I'm so excited to get into today's video and actually start applying this foundation. But before we get into that though, I do just want to go over my off-camera skincare routine real quick, just so that y'all have an idea of what's going on my face, so that if the foundation does apply funny for whatever reason, we can give it a fair judgment about whether or not it was the product applying funny or whether it just didn't play well with my underlying skincare. So I went ahead and washed my face, and then right out the shower, I went ahead and spritzed my face with this ILLIYOON Ceramide Atoll Water Lotion. I use this kind of as like a toner. This just helps to hydrate my skin and dampen it so that the subsequent skincare steps that I apply are able to absorb better. And one of the standout ingredients in here as well is ceramides, which help to fortify and rebuild that skin's natural lipid barrier. It really helps to calm and soothe irritated skin. So I like going in with this straight out the shower to help rebuild my moisture barrier and to help start to calm my skin down. After I spritz my face with that, I just went in with a moisturizer. I'm using this Naturium Multi-Peptide moisturizer. So this has a multi-peptide blend. Peptides help to promote collagen production, and they help promote the appearance of plumped and smooth skin. This has vitamin C in it as well, which also helps to promote the production of collagen. And in addition, it also serves as an antioxidant, neutralizing free radicals. For my sunscreen, I'm just using this Biore UV Athlizm SPF 50 PA4+ Skin Protect Essence. This has a really nice lightweight texture. It absorbs into the skin really quickly. It dries down to a nice satin skin finish. As you can see, it doesn't look like a sunscreen on me at all. My skin's not greasy or shiny or anything like that. So that was my off-camera skincare routine. I kept it real simple today. I just used 3 products. I don't feel like they're going to cause me any issues, but I just like to go over my off-camera skincare routine as a courtesy, like I said, just in case if the foundation applies funny at all for whatever reason. But with that out the way, I'm actually ready to get into the application. As you saw from the swatches, I did pick up 3 shades. I think I'm going to go with the middle shade out of the 3 shades I picked. So I'm going to be applying the shade 32N Medium Neutral. So what I'm going to do for my application of this foundation is I'm going to apply it in 2 layers so that I can test the buildability and the coverage of this. And for the first layer of my application, I'm also going to apply it differently on each half of my face. So for one half of my face, I'm going to apply it with a beauty sponge, and then the other half of my face, I'm going to apply it with a brush, just because I like to apply my foundation in different ways and I want to see which way works best for this. I'm shaking it up really well, and I'm ready to go ahead and apply this first layer. So I'm going to go ahead and do this half of my face. I'm going to apply it with a brush, and then this half of my face, I'm going to apply it with a sponge, and then I'm going to go ahead and compare and contrast, see which side I like. And then for the second layer, I'm just going to apply it to the whole face using whatever method I thought worked the best. I'm curious to see what kind of coverage this gives. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a decent amount. I really don't know what is a lot or a little with this foundation. I don't know if you can tell. This formula is a little runny. Went ahead and applied it, and I'm just going to go ahead and start buffing it in with a brush. This is applying really smoothly with the brush. I wasn't really sure what to expect for the application, just because, like I said, this is really runny. This actually is covering pretty well. I had a little spot here, just blending out this one layer here with the brush. It actually did a really good job of covering it up. I wasn't really expecting much from this foundation based off the reviews, but I'm pleasantly surprised from the coverage that just one layer gives me from this. Looking at the actual foundation itself, my skin texture looks really smoothed over. My pores, they're not completely blurred out. I do see them, but they are significantly reduced. Even though this foundation is really runny, and even though it does have a bunch of hydrating ingredients in it, it's not greasy or heavy on the skin, and it's settling down to a nice natural satin finish. I was expecting this to be a little bit more dewy just because of how watery and hydrating it felt on the skin, but as it actually settles and sinks into the skin, it has a really nice natural satiny finish. It's definitely not matte by any means, but I wouldn't call this dewy either. So that was this side of the face blended out with a brush. Now I'm going to go ahead and get into this half, and I'm going to go ahead and blend it out with a beauty sponge. Okay, so here is this half of the face blended out with a sponge. Looking at my face here in the mirror, I really don't see a difference between the texture between this side and this side. They honestly look completely the same. Pores over here, again, not completely erased, but significantly reduced. The coverage is really good, really impressed with that. I was honestly expecting the sponge to just soak up the foundation completely because of how watery it was. So I'm really impressed with how much foundation it actually left behind and how much coverage it's still giving me. I'm definitely impressed with what one layer is giving me and how this looks. looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the second layer now. I think for the second layer, I'm gonna go ahead and just use the sponge, and I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I feel like this foundation's looking just a little pale on me. So for this second layer, I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out with a sponge, like I said, and I'm gonna mix two shades. Actually, I'm gonna mix that first shade I was using, 32N, and then I'm also gonna take this shade, 42S Tan Sand, and mix that in to kind of deepen it a little bit. So I've gone ahead and applied a little bit of both shades to my face, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take the beauty sponge and buff it into my skin. Alright y'all, so here is 2 layers all built up, and this is what we're looking like. So firstly, that blurring technology that I talked about is really putting in some work. With 2 layers now especially, my features are really blurred out. My pores here have been reduced significantly, and all the other fine lines on my face in the under eye area as well as up here on the forehead have been significantly softened. As far as the shade goes, I think I made a good call mixing the shades 32N and 42S. This is a lot more in line with my actual skin tone. With 2 layers built up, even though it is a very watery and hydrating formula, it's still sitting nice on the skin, has a nice satin skin finish. It just looks like really nice, hydrated, healthy skin. I really appreciate that. 2 layers built up, even with the sponge. Again, the coverage is pretty impeccable, honestly. All of the underlying redness and stuff in my skin has been completely neutralized, and pretty much all of the discoloration and hyperpigmentation I have going on has been covered up as well. The spots here on my forehead are completely invisible. This side of my face looks really good. I don't see anything going on over here, and over here on this side of the face, that one spot I had going on here is peeking through like ever so slightly, but honestly the coverage that I'm getting from this is really good already. It doesn't bother me. I did have a concealer on deck just in case I felt like I needed to go in and add some more coverage, but I'm actually pretty impressed with this coverage so far, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and just skip that step altogether. It doesn't feel heavy at all on my face. I don't feel like I'm wearing anything. I don't feel like there's products sitting on my face. It just feels nice and natural and skin-like, and my skin really feels like it can breathe, so I really appreciate that. So again, this is what 2 layers is giving me, and this is the kind of coverage you can expect from 2 layers of this foundation. With all my rambling, it's had a little bit of time to set now, so I think I'm ready to go ahead and go in with the rest of my makeup. So I'm actually going to keep it really simple. I'm just going to go ahead and go in with a bronzer and a brow gel, but I do just want to go ahead and throw something on real quick just to see how this plays with other products, and I want to see if adding other products on top lifts or disrupts the foundation at all. For my bronzer today, I'm using my Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer, and I have mine here in the shade medium. I'm taking it on this Fenty Beauty bronzing brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and bronze my face like I normally would. Alright, so I've gone ahead and bronzed my whole face. This is what we're looking like. Now I'm just gonna do my brows real quick. I'm using this NYX Bear With Me brow setter. So that's the brows set, the face is bronzed, this is the completed look, and this is what we are looking like. The bronzer blended in beautifully to the skin tint, it didn't lift at all. I was honestly kind of concerned about what was going to go on here with this hyperpigmentation spot, but it looks like the coverage is pretty much all still there. And like I said, the bronzer blended really beautifully on top of this foundation. The bronzer didn't disrupt the skin tint or vice versa. Definitely impressed with how this foundation looks both on its own and with some product applied on top. I'm really impressed with the foundation so far, how it looks initially and how it applies with product. But of course, y'all know the drill with my review videos. I always do a wear test because I like to see how this wears throughout the day. This does claim to be water and sweat resistant, and it is claiming a long wearing finish as well. So I do want to go ahead and put this to the test and see how this wears throughout the day. Looking at the time now, currently it is a little bit after 12. This is what we are looking like. So I'm gonna go ahead and do what I gotta do, run my errands, and then later this evening I'll come back in and check in with y'all, and we'll see how the foundation held up. We'll go ahead and test whether or not it holds up to the claims that Tarte was making, and we'll see whether or not I still recommend this foundation after a full day's wear. Alright y'all, so it's been a couple hours now and I'm back to do my final check-in. So this is what the foundation's looking like after a couple hours. Before I start giving my rundown on how the foundation held up, I do just want to do a little bit of a time check. So currently it is a little bit after 7 o'clock. When we did our first check-in, it was a little bit after 12. Now it's a little bit after 7. So it's been about 7 hours. So looking here at myself in the mirror, obviously I'm looking a little bit more shiny than when I first applied the foundation. But you know what, I'm going to be honest with y'all. This is actually one of the better foundations that I've tried as far as how it's held held up throughout the day in terms of shininess. It is concentrated, especially here in the T-zone. It is looking a little shinier up here on the forehead and on the nose than it is in the rest of the face. I don't know how it's coming across on camera, but it's really not that bad in real life. And also keep in mind, this wear test is without me using any type of mattifying primer, any type of setting powder, or anything that's meant to just help improve the appearance of the shine or the longevity of the foundation throughout the day. So considering that this is basically just what the foundation's doing on its own, this is held up pretty well in terms of shininess. In terms of the actual foundation and how it's holding up on the face, it looks really good still. I still have pretty much all the same coverage I had going on when I first applied it. The foundation, even though it is a little bit more oily, isn't actually breaking up. It's not separating in the areas where it's oily. It hasn't settled into my fine lines in my under eye area. It hasn't settled into the smile lines on my mouth or any of the fine lines I usually have on my forehead. So I don't know if this is that Hydroflex technology that they were talking about that allows it to move with your skin without caking or creasing. It honestly looks pretty similar to when I first applied it. It's still really smooth. I think really the only difference between how it looks now versus when I first applied it, it has kind of settled in and sunken in a little bit into my pores. But again, that's something that I experience with pretty much every foundation, so I'm not going to penalize it for that because it's not like this is the only foundation that's ever done that for me. This is how pretty much every foundation wears on me. And it's really not even that bad. My pores are peeking through a little bit more, but they still look significantly reduced compared to how they would normally look without makeup at all. With all that being said, that is my final review on this product. I'm really impressed with how this held up throughout the day. I think it makes my skin look incredible. It does a really good job of providing coverage. It's got that flex technology that really allows it to move with your skin and prevents it from caking or creasing. I love that this is water and sweat resistant. I love that this has a 16-hour wear time, and I'm also really impressed with the ingredients list on here. I think this foundation has a really good shade range as well. I think it's really accessible to a wide variety of skin tones. So that's it for my review. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments what y'all liked about this video, what you disliked. Also, let me know if you have any requests for any specific video topics in the future. Go ahead and leave those down in the comments as well so I can keep those in mind when I'm sitting down and thinking of things to film. Like I said before, if you haven't already, please just be sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell button as well so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, I should be back shortly with new content. Bye.